So we're just looking at live pictures now, obviously all the foreign dignitaries coming in. That's Jill Biden, the First Lady from the United States of America. We were talking earlier to Robert Lacey about the fact that no US president has ever been to the coronation of a monarch in this country. But obviously Jill Biden representing the United States of America. We're also seeing other foreign dignitaries starting to appear as well.
Yeah, and, you know, there was a lot of debate about whether or not it was appropriate for President Biden to be missing this event. And I know former President Trump, I should be keen to point out, had views on that as well. Of course, you know, any decision like that is going to be complicated. But as you said there, David, you know, it isn't normal. Yeah. I believe it was Eisenhower in power at the last coronation.
Well indeed, and I don't think that he even came. Let's get some more detail on that. Let's go back to Kate and talk about the political ramifications of this. We've got the First Lady of the United States, but no president, Kate.
No, and actually, you know what? That's not particularly unusual. It's happened in the past. A delegation, for example, at the last coronation was sent in place of the president. Jill Biden, you just saw arriving there to represent, of course, the president of the United States. I suppose, given the relationship between the two countries, it isn't a major surprise, perhaps, that the president is not here. But it is an indication of the importance of this event that he has sent Jill Biden as a representative. And there are many, many other foreign dignitaries arriving here too, and members of foreign royalty, which is something new for this particular coronation. At the previous one, in the 1950s, there was, I think, only one or two other foreign royal dignitaries here. Now there are a number. They've been broadened out by the King to further represent those around the world. So that's an interesting change this time around. We have a keen eye on who is arriving just over my shoulder. I mean, that is where you see all of those Range Rovers driving up. They've erected a see-through porch, if you like, to deal with the weather, because sadly it is a little bit rainy out here now. We know that a number of politicians are already inside the Abbey. Some of them had been asked to arrive from around 7 o'clock this morning, others up until 9 o'clock. We know Sir Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, is in there. He's taken a seat. There are other MPs. They've got fairly decent positions. Remember, MPs were allowed to choose their own seats within a certain bank, so they may well be sat next to someone from a different party, depending on when they actually arrived. Some fairly impressive outfits too. Penny Mordaunt, for example, she's going to be actually part of the King's procession today. She's got an important role on the Privy Council. She has an absolutely fantastic outfit. We'll hope to bring you pictures of that shortly. She's got a beautiful blue-green cape and a matching hat. She looks pretty special. Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, she's come in a hat even bigger than mine, a big white hat on the side of her head too. So there's some really interesting outfits, politicians really pushing the boat out. But as I was saying this morning, interesting to see who is wearing tails and top hats and who's gone for a little bit dressed down. It looks to me like Sir Keir Starmer is sat there at the moment in the Abbey wearing a suit. He is perfectly allowed to do that, but it looks like he's opted out of wearing full tails. So we will continue to bring you those arrivals from here as and when we see them. We're expecting, of course, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and his wife Akshata Murthy, and all of those former Prime Ministers too, and their spouses.
McCann on the balcony overlooking Westminster Abbey, thank you. And I must let the audience know that I've got Dr. David Bull tutting next to me saying it's not appropriate.
It's not appropriate. I think one should be in a morning suit, hence why I'm wearing mine.